Hello. So this video is an attempt to capture karma in terms of Nirbeeja Yoga. Now, in the paradigm of thinking that informs and is informed by Nirbeeja Yoga, our body is in a person-centric model of the universe. Our body is like a house with all different kinds of people, where a cell is a person, yeah, group of cells is people. So we call tissue, a group of cells, as tissue, whereas in paradigm of thinking of Nirbeeja Yoga, they are people, yeah. More than one cell is people. A cell is a person, yeah. So organs are people systems, yeah. Like we have a country, so in a country there are many different kinds of people held together by a certain paradigm of thinking, system of beliefs, how to behave, what is the best course of actions for a country to be that country versus some other country. So an organ is a country, yeah, people. Basically, the kind of people together make a country, yeah, or how to of it. So an organ system, like a digestive system or a nervous system, is a people system, yeah, where, say, like a continent, for example. Your continent has certain similar kind of countries together in a system, yeah. So altogether, the body is kind of many continents. So there are many continents. So it's not just at least 12 continents, because there are at least 12 body systems. Yeah. And in a fluid base. Yeah. So it's a big country. A body is a big country. Okay. A big planet, universe in and of itself. So we're going to say, when you say Earth is a planet, yeah, and planet is in a larger solar system. Solar system is part of a Milky Way galaxy, part of, yeah, so on, many fractals. So since we keep looking through the telescope and microscope, let's just say a body, the body of a person is a universe in and of itself, yeah, in relationship with outside world, where there are other people, there are things. So it's a universe system. So in this line of thinking, we are in a multiverse, yeah, where each person is a universe in and of themselves, and hence, when we are interacting with different people, animals, plants, we are in a multiverse. Okay, just for a way of thinking. So when we say karma, in the paradigm of medicine intelligence, from where Nirbeeja Yoga is also informed, is part of it, is informed and is informed by. Dharma would be like the ground from where life has a substance for being. So, so the breath would be like a ground from where body takes shape. Yeah, a dead person is said to have no breath. Yeah, so they may be heart functioning, brain functioning, but if there's a certain aspect of breathing which is not quite there, then the person is said to be not amongst the living. Yeah, and there's a certain time frame when a person fully dies. Yeah, so so breath can be considered as a ground from where life gets substance, or has, a substance forming substance, yeah, substantiator, so to speak. Yeah. Now, so in a way, breath is dharma, but it's more like the matrix formed from the breath. In a way, that can be thought of that way, would be the ground for being and becoming, which means the tissues are also formed from the breath, and then the breath is supported by the tissues. Yeah, so they're like the heart and the lungs, for example. The heart cannot function on its own, but needs the support of the lungs, and the lungs cannot function on its own, but needs the support of the heart by which to keep it pulsing. Yeah, both are pulsing, kind of like a life support. And these two cannot function without the nervous system, without the musculoskeletal system, without the endocrine system, without the other so many systems. Yes, each support each other. It's a cooperative society. Yeah, body is a cooperative society of many people. It's a community. It's a universe of cooperative entities. Yeah. So, so that which you are able to do from having a body that is a cooperative society, yeah, would be karma, arising from dharma, from the conscience, the conglomerate science, which may be put together small, simply like called probably conscience or conscience, but it seems like, like conning, no. Conglomerate science, conscience, yeah, conscience. Why am I telling that? Is to bring your attention that we could interpret sounds and words in many ways, but then it's about what is the system of logic by which you're putting things together determines if you're going to have health or you're going to have disease. You're going to have non-violence or you're going to have violence. Yeah. So what is the ground, what is the logic from which your actions are arising? Is it from a dharma triad, dharma trident, or from the winner's trident? Yeah, where dharma triad is about victim, perpetrator, rescuer, these dynamics. Trident, so they could quite get you in a spot, and continue to maintain diseases, people standing with guns in the borders to protect boundaries. Yeah, so those kinds of things, a lot of that happening. Where there's a you versus I dynamics, superiority complex, inferiority complex, all of that. The other is the winner's triad, which is vulnerability, caring, and non-violence, from where arises assertiveness. So you're not asserting like in a dictator, for example. You're not asserting in like a totalitarian, but you're standing from a place of vulnerability, caring, non-violence, but from a commitment of making something better, but for which you need to speak out for something that actually makes things better. So in that sense, assertiveness, being assertive from this winner's triad. So it's so what is the ground? Is it from the dharma triad or from the winner's triad that you're speaking, and from where your actions arise? That gives rise to the consequences of your actions. So if you're speaking from the ground of the winner's triad, then your actions are likely to, one way or the other, harmonize or unify or resolve differences and make space for nonviolent communications, for example. Versus if your actions are arising from the dharma triad, where there is the victim, perpetrator, rescuer dynamics, which at the heart of which is a wound, yeah, and not, which means it's violence, which is at the heart of the dharma triad, and the heart of the winner's triad is non-violence, because vulnerability, caring, and assertiveness, but it's coming from non-violence as a base. So when your actions are coming from violence as a base, where the dharma triad arises, then you're likely to do something to disrupt something. Yeah, you're likely to do something which is going to bring friction or create a you versus me, or somebody is more winning than and somebody is losing. Those winner loser kind of consequences, outcomes come about, and there continues to remain imbalance rather than balancing the differences and then coming to harmony, because the disillusion, dissentment, dissonance continues to be maintained, and hence harmony remains waiting for a savior to come and now salvage the situation, kind of. Yeah. So, so when we talk in terms of karma, where is our actions arising from, um, tells what kind of outcomes is possible. And what that also means is, from another perspective, what actions you do, if on going back and forth, it is not resolving something, and it's not bringing about a zero balance, so that somebody is not ripped off, so that you're winning at the cost of somebody else, or that balance is not happening, in which case you are continuing to either perpetrate an imbalance, which means you're continuing to maintain an imbalance, or either even aggravate it, or so that either the person who is at the receiving end of the actions is at loss, or you're at a loss. Yeah. So now this comes from, if you're operating from a wound somewhere, that I don't have something, or the victim perpetrator rescuer dynamics, from any of these positions, victim or perpetrator or rescuer. So in terms of Nirbeeja Yoga, the Nirbeeja Yoga is like the middle ground between creator and destroyer. Yeah? Creation, creator, maintainer, destroyer, like three. You can also remember this from the logo of Medicine Intelligence. We have the logo, Mighty Devi, and then below it we've written Original Humane Intelligence Facilitation, and below it is 3 dots. The 3 dots are of 4, is a square. There are 3 dots made of 3 squares. Yeah, so together it's 12. So that's also kind of representing the half of a 24, which is like the dharma chakra said to have 24 spokes. Yes, or a day has 24 hours, or a clock either shows 12 or 24 hours. So it's kind of symbolic representation. But that 3 dots also is said to, it's kind of a reminder of the creation, maintenance and destruction, 3 as essential functions by which life is maintained, wholesomization happens. There is a 4th, which is actually the individual, who needs to keep them together. So you're standing on this ground and living life by. So and there's also mystery. Yeah. So you're not able to see the 4th dot, which is actually there is present, but you could say the 4th dot is right on top on Mighty Baby's head. You're the head dot. But so there's a lot of symbolism in there. Why am I referring to this? Nirbeeja Yoga is like the maintenance between creation and destruction. So when there is a balance between all these 3, then the ground of being and becoming is maintained well enough, so that entropy is not causing too much of inflation. That could also cause a big bang. Yeah, too much more than the threshold, or if it's too little, there's no space for anybody to breathe. That's also not so good. Then that will also not lead to sufficient creation, which is also another kind of a big bang. Too constricted place. You need space for breathing and being, and not too much of space either. You might just go, okay. So in between, there's an optimum space in which beautiful things happen. No nuclear fusion or fission. Yeah. So it's like a good, nice power station. A person is a good, nice power station. Not a power station, but a power station. No power. Yeah. So so karma in terms of Nirbeeja Yoga is about what it takes to have the body be functioning as a healthy body. Yeah, where there is symmetrical give and take. Yeah, so you're not running out of fuel and then out of battery, or all held in and then you're suffocating inside, and that also will, you'll just expire because you got too much of stuff there. You're not quite breathing. Yeah, if you're too much giving, you're having caretaker syndrome and you'll run out of battery. That also doesn't work. So what does it take to maintain the body in such a way that it is healthy, no disease? Yeah, which means not a whole list of diseases. And we are not having to maintain our immunity from a certain guns at the boundaries. Yeah, like our white blood cells are ready for an attack. Yeah, anybody comes anywhere close, gone for you. Yeah, that also is not quite healthy, because somebody is at the risk of, beware around this person. Yeah, that's like people standing with guns in the borders. Yeah, so if our immune system is kind of based on our presence, offense defense kind of idea of immunity. Yeah, peace across boundaries is by having people standing with guns in the borders. It's kind of not really at peace. It's more like, we are peaceful as long as, yeah, it's like a veiled thread, which is how our different countries are presently functioning. So I'm talking from the country of Nirbeeja. Nirbeeja is a country where Earth is a country in and of itself. Now, when I say Earth, we're also used to the word Earth, that we take it for granted. So I'm calling that the country of Earth as Nirbeeja, because many of us haven't heard the word Nirbeeja. So we are likely to be curious about what this is. Then if I say Earth, yeah. So I'm from the country of Nirbeeja, and I'm working for the country of Nirbeeja, of the people, by the people, of the people, by the people, for the people, with the people of Nirbeeja. Yeah, that's where we go. So, and I have just two people, not quite opposing. Yeah, we have the male dynasty and the female dynasty. That's the two kinds of people. Yeah, nature, nurture are kind of two kinds of dynamics. Well, complementary partners. The country of Nirbeeja. So I'm just kind of through this video, maybe if you get a certain idea of what is karma, so that you're maintaining a zero balance between what is being received and what is being given. If you're ripping me off, or if you're getting ripped off, so that there is an imbalance being maintained, then that's just trouble waiting to happen. Yeah, and the system of life runs by several natural laws. Some call it the cosmic accountant, karma. So there's always a check-in for what's working, what's not working, if things are in balance. If there is imbalance, then the balance is settled. Yeah, from perspectives that you know or don't know about yourself. A lot of us are not quite aware of this country. Our body also can be called as a country of Nirbeeja, because kind of everything that kind of arises in a person-centric model of the universe, for example. If the country of our body is not quite functioning as well, then in a person-centric model of the universe, our Earth is not quite functioning as well, because there's disease, there's push and pull, strife. So that would also in some way be what may be happening on Earth in the country of Nirbeeja, like on Earth. So as it is outside, so it is also maybe inside. Maybe, I don't know. But how is your world? It's a push and pull and all that. You may need to check how is your health inside, because in some way how your health may be how your life is showing up. Yeah, the kind of patterns you notice, the kind of justice, injustice, fairness, unfairness may also be what is actually also happening inside your body, because according to what's happening inside your body is also how your life, what's happening outside in your life shows up, and what's happening outside is also in some way what's happening inside. So you can kind of check for, it's like a thermometer. You use a thermometer to see how's the temperature. So in a way it's like a barometer, to see if there's good, if there is earthquake or floods, or what kind of strife, struggle, war may be going on inside your body or in your life. If I wish to check how good is your health, wealth and wisdom. Yeah, points of reference, kind of like a checking point to see how healthy is your life and how healthy is your body. So karma, when there is a sense of peace and not just a push and pull and struggle, that you're more maintaining that zero balance. Yeah, zero balance account means you're not due to give somebody, you're not always in a constant debt, or that somebody has to give you money, so you're always in this this credit thing. Yeah, credit and debit kind of balance, and you also always have to keep looking for where do I now get the thing so the balance is equal. So those kinds of things in your life. So accordingly will be the disease in your body. Yeah, if you have to give somebody so much, that would probably be a disease. And if you have to take your due from others, that also gives you the disease. So karma in terms of Nirbeeja Yoga is about what it takes to restore that zero balance, so that zero is the ground from which you're living. Yeah, so zero balance account is always maintained. Yeah, as much as possible, or if not, when you're regularly practicing this, there is that sense of equilibrium in different parts of your body, in your cells, in your tissues, in your organs, and to that extent, it's your sense of ease, comfort, effortlessness, with which who you can be versus you in comparison with others. Yeah, when you say I love you, there's an imbalance between I, or an imbalance between you. You're a sense of I or you. Then love is kind of in a push-pull nature. Yeah, then push-pull technology happens. Yeah, Hatha yoga, and then you need I do Nirbeeja yoga because I like it much, because it's about constantly maintaining that zero balance as much as I'm practicing Nirbeeja yoga. Otherwise, there is Hatha, your push-pull technology. I call Hatha as the push-pull technology because it is easier to remember. It's like this or that, this versus that, and all that. Nirbeeja yoga is about this and that. Yeah? It's an and world, and not so much of and that you go, no. Yeah, so there's a certain balance between risk and benefit, kind of. Yeah, so it's zero, more or less zero. Yeah, zero balance terms. So I hope this gives you some perspective about karma in terms of Nirbeeja yoga. Okay, so it is a dharmendriya karma, that is from dharma as a center, the karma that arises, and then the karma as a consequence of such dharma. When you do things, that gives back to a bettering of dharma. So it is dharmendriya karma and then karmendriya dharma. So it's both dharma and karma is maintained in a certain doable, at the same time sane balance. So you're not doing too much or you're not being too much. There's a balance between being and doing. So thank you for listening.